Hey guys, Iceluslol here, and today we're bringing you a Caitlyn replay. This is £3 on EU West at the Bronze 1 LO. And right away we've got Sivir and Braum versus the Caitlyn that we're looking at, and Lulu. So the first thing I want to talk about is skill build. You want to get Piltover Peacemaker instead of Traps as Caitlyn. And the reason is that it just gives you way more options in lane. So like you get first blood here, but as you can see, like your traps aren't doing anything for you. If you had Piltover Peacemaker, you could have secured that first blood a lot faster. Well, you could have secured the first blood period because your support actually got it. Or you could have pushed the wave so that you would have had a minion advantage and the minions would have attacked Braum more. So additionally, you had heal there. You could have used heal to save Lulu. And because she didn't even use exhaust, because I don't think she was actually in range of Sivir. So if you had used heal, Lulu would have lived longer, and then she could have maybe exhausted Sivir, and you probably could have cleaned up both of them. And even if Lulu died, that would still have been worth, as you would have had a 2 for 1, or it could have been a 2 for 0. Another thing I would have done is stand in the brush, because Caitlyn's passive headshot charges twice as fast when you're in the brush, and you were standing just outside of it for most of that. So you want to... Pretty sure you were. Let me rewind real quick. Just verify. Yeah. So like you weren't standing in the brush at all. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't making stuff up there. So I skipped a little bit too far ahead, sorry. Okay, alright, so just getting poked out here. Braum commits to Lulu. You guys are taking a lot of free ricochet damage. When Sivir starts throwing out ricochet, how it works is it bounces forever, but it only hits each target one time. So when she throws out ricochet, just step back from the wave, because you just take so much free damage if you just let her throw ricochets at your face all day. Okay, you're attacking Braum here. This is good. Nice. Great. Okay, so you could have... That was great how you played that against Braum, but you could have easily secured that kill, right? Because Sivir used her summoners to get away from you over here, so you know she had no heal or flash, and if you had just flash healed and ran her down, you would have killed her easily. So that's something to look out for, right? Because you have to pay attention to when your opponents use summoner spells, make a note of it, and then you can take advantage of it. So that's a kill that you definitely could have secured. Let's talk about your item build, or your skill build. Your skill build's perfect. I would have actually backed when you forced Sivir to back, because now you're stuck on a Doran's Blade, and even though you're ahead, you can't actually exert a lot of pressure, because you don't have your items yet. So that's something to also consider. When the enemy ADC backs, you back. Whether they die or you force them to back or whatever. Okay, now you're stacked. The BF sword is great. The potion is great. The long sword, I don't know why you got a long sword. Like if you're gonna build a Vamp Scepter just to sit on, that's not very good. If you want lifesteal, just get a second Doran's Blade. It'll delay your build just as much, but it'll give you the 3% lifesteal right away. So if you have 2 Doran's Blades, that's 6% lifesteal instead of 3%. The lifesteal it's not unique. Okay, Shaco's coming around, so you guys should get this dragon for free. That's really good. Oh, yeah, that was a really nice trap. Okay, but he blocked your ult or mitigated a lot of it. That's fine. So, okay, Katarina's coming up from the back. You got tower aggro though. And yeah, okay, good. That was good. You tanked the tower for Katarina long enough where she came in and cleaned Sivir up. Very good. You got the tower. Yeah, nice. Okay. So you got a pickaxe. Yeah, like in this lane, I really don't think you even need more lifesteal. If you were just like spending money with that longsword just for the sake of spending money, that's not really worth it. Because like an extra 10 damage when you already have your BF sword is negligible. So If the lane was like razor edge close, like then maybe. But I mean, I would say 95% of the time I wouldn't do that. I would just hold the money for something better. Okay, so you're mid, which is, I like this. Sivir split pushing, but Katarina should have it. You're just trying to siege mid, which is great. Vi just got killed by Shaco, so this is a perfect opportunity for you to stay here, and it looks like you're doing that. You guys are going to get mid tower for free. Nice. Katarina pushed bot back, Sivir came mid. So now you just want to defend this tower because they're going to try to get some revenge. Ooh, Jace is here. This Jace and Braum and Sivir poke is pretty rough. And Shaco's not here. Katarina's here though, so you're probably okay. But just stay back, yeah. Those J-balls really, really hurt. I'm not sure why he flashed there. But it doesn't really matter. You're maxing net second, that's correct. And you're just kind of hanging out looking for farm, which I totally understand. I like that you're not going bot. That's really good. Like, you want to stay with your team like that. Exactly. And you just contributed to a kill. Perfect. That's why you don't go bot. When the enemy tower's down, you want to try to roam around. If you do go bot, but then come back. So you started Dragon a little bit too early here, because there's no one to help you. You don't want to be tanking Dragon as ADC, but okay, they did finally come over. If they hadn't come over, though, Vi could have smited that away from you, so something to consider. Alright, so that was really good. Now you guys can probably push this tower, because, Vi, yeah. Recalling here is fine, actually, because Vi's up, Braum's up in 5 seconds. Sivir's just split pushing, I don't know why. But see, like, this Vamp Scepter is just doing nothing for you, right? Like, it didn't do anything for you in lane, because you didn't even have it during lane phase. And it's like, at this point, you know, it's just not gonna do that much for you. Like, if you want lifesteal to farm jungle camps or to recover from their poke, just get the second Doran's Blade and buy pots, because that doesn't delay your build as much as buying the full Vamp Scepter. Nice job. That was really good. Picked off the Jace and you still stayed safe. And this Katarina is just snowballing out of her mind. You're just roaming around, you have blue buff. Okay, I can push this out. Alright, Shaco's here, but you have 2 people dead, so you gotta be really careful. You're gonna steal this red buff though, that's really good. And you picked up a free Vi, nice. You gotta be really careful here. Jace is doing some work. Okay, you chased Jace into your team, that was good. Okay, you got Braum to ult. Okay, Braum decided to explore. Okay, alright, let's talk about your build. What are you building? You've got like a chain vest or a cloth armor. I don't like. Basically, your priority needs to be Infinity Edge, and then your attack speed item, right? Your attack speed item being Static Shiv or Phantom Dancer. Static Shiv is the better of the 2 right now. Phantom Dancer is more ideal for Caitlyn, but Static Shiv is just too OP, so most people will build that. I prefer Phantom Dancer, just because Caitlyn has 0 attack speed buffs, and her attack speed per level is like average. So, basically it's 23 minutes into the game almost, and okay, so yeah. I would have focused Vi there, not the dragon, right? Because Vi has smite and you don't. So that's just a side note. But anyway, your build. So like you've built a Vamp Scepter and a cloth armor, and that's 1100 gold. You could have Static Shiv by now. And like having Static Shiv not only makes you farm faster, which leads to more gold, but it makes your team fight stronger because you can poke harder and clear waves and siege and just do a lot of things better, and it makes Caitlyn really, really strong. Like once you hit the 2 item mark for Caitlyn, you've got your Infinity Edge and your attack speed item, you've got a lot of crit, and you're super strong because of her range. So that's what I would say about that. It doesn't really matter this game because The Sivir is not very effective, but in a close game it does matter. So I'm not even sure why, like, your methodology for the cloth armor, like, if you're worried about Jace poke, like, cloth armor is not going to do anything for you. He does so much damage. So you need to get lifesteal. I mean, and you have lifesteal, but like I said, excuse me, the better option for lifesteal is just the second Doran's Blade. And you're dead. Oh, your team's gonna help you out and you have flash, okay. Yeah, staying a little too long, burning your flash there for no reason. That's not ideal. But Katarina's gonna clean up. So at least she used Assault and Battery on you there, and Katarina was able to get the kill, so that's good. So you could have done Raptors right there, instead of, I'm not sure why you were just standing in that brush. Okay, your team's over here fighting. Good to go over here. Okay, backing off. You could have done this Raptor camp too. So a lot of farm opportunities you're missing out on, especially since you have Shiv now, and you have a Vamp Scepter. Potions would help you not die to jungle camps as well, but since you have a Vamp Scepter, there's no excuse not to do jungle camps. Okay, that's pretty aggressive. You netted in there, but no one's focusing you really, so it doesn't matter. Okay, looks like you're gonna alt Vi, and you picked it up. Nice. Jace tried to block it, it looked like, but couldn't get there in time. Oh, you had net there. That was actually a good opportunity to aggressively net because Jace ran this way. So there's pretty much nothing that they could have done. Oh, he knocked you over the wall. That sucks. But you have 650 range, so you can still attack. Ah, okay. That's fine. That's pretty annoying he knocked you over the wall, but what are you gonna do? You actually had net that whole time too, though. You could have netted back over the wall. This is what I would have done. Since you didn't use it to kill Braum. Okay, now you can actually solo Dragon, yeah. Good job. So you had the right idea earlier about focusing getting Dragon, but like it was just too early in the game. But now you can actually solo Dragon. So you're picking up red buff. You switched out for Scrying Orb, that's great. So this is a really early Guardian's Angel though. Like, you haven't even died. You don't need Guardian's Angel this early. Like, if your thought process is, I haven't died, and I want to preserve my, like, kill streak to not feed gold, then you need to position better. But, like, you're actually hurting your damage output a lot here by building that, because you could have a finished Last Whisper right now, and that would make you do so much more damage. It looks like Katarina's just carrying anyway, so it doesn't matter. Excuse me. But, like, it can matter in a really close game. So, I'd pretty much never get Guardian's Angel third item on Caitlyn. There's just no need to. I mean, you have 650 range. You have a 1300 damage built over Peacemaker. You have, I don't even know the range on Ace in the Hole. It's like 3 to 5,000 range or something. And you have traps. Like, you're playing pretty much the safest, like, most self-reliant ADC in the game. And there are a lot of games where I don't even get any defensive item on Caitlyn. So that's not every game, but this is a game where I don't really see... I don't even see why you'd want Guardian Angel against any of their people, really. Like, if Vi was super fed, then maybe, but she's 2 and 11. So, like, all she has is a Triforce, so, like, all you have to do is, like, back up and you can just, like, kill her. There's pretty much, like, nothing she can do. So just something to think about. Oh, you're getting caught out. Rip. Okay, so at this point in the game, 34 minutes in the game, death timers are getting long, and you and Katarina got picked off, so that really hurts because you spent all this money on Guardian's Angel, and now it's on cooldown, so you basically spend a bunch of money for 50 armor and 50 magic resist until it's back up. So you gotta stay with your team at this point in the game. You lost Flash there, you lost Heal, you lost Guardian's Angel. Pretty much all preventable, just with positioning near your team where they can support you. So you bought Wrath like super early too. I don't really agree with that. So especially because you're not grouping with your team. To basically Wrath, you get if you get a kill or an assist, it extends the duration by 30 seconds, but you're farming. So, like, getting Wrath this early is not good. Like, it's a mistake in general, I would say, but getting it this early and then going and farming is, like, even bigger mistake. Because you basically just kind of wandered around the jungle, and now you're farming. And your potion's going to run out, and that's 300 gold you just wasted. So, and Sivir is, like, kind of catching up to you. Sivir actually has 40 more farm than you. So if you look at Sivir's items, she's got Infinity Edge, Static Shiv, Last Whisper, and she's almost done Bloodthirster. You have Infinity Edge, Static Shiv, and you still don't even have Last Whisper. So she's up, basically. I mean, you have the Guardian's Angel, but it's on cooldown, so it's basically doing nothing for you. So, like, Sivir's almost peak damage, and you still have not finished your third damage item. So that's really concerning, considering how hard you won lane and how far you're ahead. You're basically, like, falling off in terms of damage. And you're also not with your team now. So, like, right now you're basically, like, probably going to get here really late. Yeah. So, like, you basically needed to just keep pushing into the base. They want 1-for-1, actually. That's because Sivir's in base for some reason. Is she getting her Bloodthirster right now? Jesus, yeah. Okay, so Sivir, 37 minutes. Sivir has all 4 offensive items. And you just got picked by Jace, but hopefully you have Last Whisper now. Like, Sivir has all... Okay, you have Last Whisper, but Sivir has all 4 offensive items, so she's going to do way more damage than you in fights. Also because Sivir has a real attack speed steroid, like an actual one, and you don't as Caitlyn. So, like, she's just going to be contributing more. Like, if she can auto-attack, she's going to be doing more in team fights than you. Like, way more. So... Okay, I don't know why you flashed there. But you got Braum, at least, and you stopped them from doing Baron, which is really good. Vi's dead. So that's worth, because you stopped them from doing Baron, but, like, that's kind of, like, their mistake more than, like, any kind of play you made. And you lost Guardian's Angel again. So, in the scheme of things, it's worth. But you got kind of lucky. But it looks like you guys get Baron now, which is pretty sick. Okay, so that's awesome. So now you want to push mid. And just try to siege. You want to put traps, like, here. Like, you're not placing traps. You have traps on an 11-second cooldown now. Like, you want to be putting traps, like, up here and being annoying. And you're not doing that. So, like, you have to start placing traps, like, well in advance, because you can have 3 of them down, and right now you have none. So you have to start, like, thinking well in advance when you put traps down. Because right now with an 11-second cooldown, okay, you just put one over the wall. That's not really a great position there for a trap. The team fight's breaking out. Aurelia's dead, and she has Guardian Angel. Oh, you stepped up really far. You got ulted. Oh, sorry, that wasn't you. I lost track of you in that fight. Retry this. Okay, your positioning is actually quite good, but you're not attacking anyone. You're attacking the tower, but okay, so you, like, attack the tower, and then you switch to the enemy team, and then you also kind of, like, walked around a little bit. So, like, you should have just, like, the tower, like, you were taking incidental, like, AoE damage, and this base tower is really tough. So, like, I would have just positioned. Let's see if you die here. Oh, I think you're dead. Yeah, I would have positioned, like, you were kind of, like, went up here, and then you walked over here, and then you attacked the tower once, and then you were like, oh, I'll attack the enemy team, and then you pulled tower aggro, and you're like, oh, let me back up, and you ulted, and you just kind of didn't really commit to anything. You also didn't have any traps here. Like, if you, again, since traps are so good, if you had traps here, when they were all walking, they would have all gotten snared, right? So you got to place traps, like, where the fight is going to happen, because, like, that trap is probably still here, right? Or they popped it for fun. It didn't do anything. So you got to use the traps. That's, like, a big part of the fight. And since you have such long range, you could just stand here and attack safely out of the tower range, and you could have just been destroying people. You could have also, if you're positioned over here instead of here, you could have thrown a Piltover Peacemaker up through, like, multiple of them, and that would have been worth too. But the other problem is, since you don't have Bloodthirster done, your damage is like low. It's very low for this stage of the game. And you finished Führer. That's another itemization mistake. Like, you shouldn't finish Führer before you have like your core items done. Like, so this has like been 10 minutes into the game now where Sivir's had all 4 offensive items. She has 5 offensive items. And you have 3 and like a third. So like her damage output is probably insane compared to yours. Like, she's probably outputting like twice your damage, or she's probably outputting more than twice your damage. So that means like in a team fight, she's like 2.5 of you, if you think about it. So plus she contributes a lot of utility to your team. And you, okay, so you bought another Wrath pot, but at least you finished Bloodthirster, so your build is finally done. But like all this, you basically just delayed your build so much, like with upgrading your trinket, the Wrath pot earlier, like Führer, the early Guardian's Angel, that like you would have just won the game by now. Because you would have done so much more damage. Just from like, you could have just walked up and just right-click people in fights, and you would have just destroyed them. But because your damage is so low, you weren't able to contribute as much in a bunch of those fights that you could have. So, and it's really just that simple. I mean, the good thing about itemization mistakes is they're easy to correct, because it's just, you know, the order you buy things. And it makes a huge difference. And there's nothing like fancy about it, it's just you have less damage, so you do less damage. Okay, so you just netted away there. I don't know why. I would be up here being more aggressive and attacking Vi and like everyone else. Like, you have full health and Bloodthirster. Okay, yeah, you're attacking Sivir. Like, that was great. That was like good. You played better at the end there, but you misplayed at the beginning big time because your team is all dead, and like you netted away with full health, Guardian Angel, and like you have Wrath. You have a full Bloodthirster shield. You could have done so much more damage there. You could have at least probably killed Jace or Braum, and then at the end there, instead of 3 of them being alive, would have been 2, and you could have maybe outplayed them with, because you have Flash up. You could have used Net and Flash to like outplay them. That's like one thing you can do with Caitlyn. You can just outplay people with Net and her 650 range. Caitlyn's not a very like flashy champion, but she is very consistent, and she just consistently has 650 range, and she consistently has Net on like a 10-second cooldown at max rank. So you can just constantly like bait people. Okay, so Vi's doing Dragon. It would be really good if your team engaged here, but they don't know she's doing Dragon. So not really your fault. Alright, so now you're just kind of fighting at Baron. Okay, everyone's fighting. I want to see you up here, and attacking Braum is fine. Okay, you used your Net again there, and I don't know why. Now you're attacking Sivir. This is perfect. Excellent. Okay. So now you're not attack moving, though, and you flashed. Like, if you're going to flash, you should have flashed way earlier than that. That flash basically didn't do anything. Okay, so you've got Braum here. And you should have moved up there, too, because you had Net. So basically, like, you have to try to attack. Like, you have such good attack range with 650 that like you need to be up there attacking. Like, that's one of the strengths of Caitlyn. You can safely get free attacks in because they're so long range. And then when they jump in, you use Net to counter them. So if Jace jumps on you, then you Net away, and then he's used his gap close, and then he's sitting there slowed with his dick in his hand like, oh shit, I can't do anything. But like, you just kind of are using your Net way too defensively when you don't need to. So like you're Caitlyn, you have Guardian Angel, Bloodthirster, Wrath, like you have all these defensive tools. You have Führer for kiting. Like, you pretty much have like every possible advantage for kiting. You're just panicking a little bit too much, and that's costing you a lot of damage because there's like a meter or a sliding scale, right? On one end there's being safe, on the other end there's doing maximum damage, and you've slid it like, almost all the way to the being safe side. And because of that, you're losing out on too much damage. Okay, so that is an example of when you shouldn't be attacking. Like, that's like the only example where you didn't need to move up. Now you're with your team. This is really good. And you're attacking Lux. You have your ult. You're not using it? There you go. Okay, she's dead. So like, it's like the difference is there. You moved up when there was everyone, and then Vi ulted you and you lost Guardian's Angel. You didn't die though, which is good. But before, like, your team was all there, and everyone was split up. So the focus wasn't on you. And in solo queue, like, people aren't going to switch focus to you a lot of the time. Like, they just won't do it because people have like one-track minds, and like once they've locked on to whoever they're attacking, they're never going to switch. Another thing you can do is when Jace used his Guardian Angel. Okay, you did place a trap. Okay, spectator mode was bugged. Placing a trap when someone uses Guardian Angel is really good. Okay, you died there. That was pretty good. I would say you didn't attack move quite as much as I would have liked. Took a little bit too much damage from like AoE and stuff, but that's okay. So let's go over your questions real quick. So you basically said you feel like you didn't know how to kind of take control of the game based on your questions here. So I can just kind of talk in general, I guess. We'll just speak in generalities. So like it just sounds like from what you wrote me that you're not like sure of yourself and you're not confident of like what to do exactly to like help your team win the game and stuff. The itemization that I talked about is like a huge part of that. Like for this role, for ADC, it's not for every role, obviously. But like fixing your itemization will help you out a ton. Like it will help you out so much. It's the easiest thing to fix. You just change your build order and you say, okay, I gotta buy this now and I'm not gonna buy that anymore or whatever, and like that will make you do so much more damage. It'll make you be more useful to your team. It'll get you more kills, it'll snowball things faster, it'll win more fights, and then that'll transition to dragons and towers and all that stuff. So that's the biggest thing, and it's really easy to fix. I mean, it's the easiest thing to fix that I go over with people, so that's good news for you. Other things that you can get used to are just like, you have to think of your net as a counter spell. Like, I don't know if you ever played Magic the Gathering or any game with counter spells or anything, but like it's so like Jace, right, or Vi, they have gap closing abilities, right, and you have an escape ability on a 10-second cooldown, and it slows for 2 seconds and does damage, which is really good. So like when they use their ability, you have to save your net for when they use their abilities. When they use their abilities, then you use your net to leave. So for instance, if Vi ults you, right, let's say she uses her Q to gap close and then ults you, that's both of her gap close abilities, right? And then when you come out of her ult, you can EQ, so you cast your net and then you Q, and then instead of being on top of her, you're over here at max range, and she's slowed by 50% for 2 seconds, and you can just attack her for free and just rip her to pieces. And like with headshot and crits, you'll just kill her pretty fast. Same thing with Jace. Jace is even easier. As soon as he jumps on you, or even before that, because like he only has 500 range, like if you just see him, you can just start attacking him. And as soon as he switches to his Mercury Hammer form and runs at you, you can just EQ him and then auto and then alt. And like Jace is way squishier than Vi, as you can see. Like he's got 2400 health versus Vi's 3300 health, and he has no armor MR. Like, I mean, he has a Guardian Angel, so he has some armor and MR, but it's not that much. And like he's just way easier to kill. So you have to basically let them gap close to you, or let them get close and then use net. you were basically kind of just using net because you were panicking, and that's not good because then your net is on cooldown and your options are severely limited, and number two, you're not attacking. So Caitlyn is like very attack reliant as a champion, so you have to like be up there attacking constantly, especially because you have 650 range. So like, you know, Sivir's boomerang blade is better than your Piltover Peacemaker in a lot of situations, just because like it's instant, so she can throw out boomerang blade, hit a lot of people, and then that also makes her run faster from her passive, and then like that's AoE, and she's got ricochet for AoE damage, you know, and she has an attack speed steroid. So Sivir does has a lot of AoE damage. She has an attack speed steroid. She has an attack reset. Caitlyn doesn't have any of that, right? Caitlyn just is like slow damage, consistent safe damage, right? Because she has 650 range. She has headshot, which does bonus damage every X amount of attacks. I think it's 6 attacks late game, and it doubles if you're in a brush. You have Piltover Peacemaker, which is really situational because you only want to cast it late game when you can hit multiple people, otherwise it's not worth it. So since Piltover Peacemaker is not worth it most of the time, and headshot only benefits your attacks, you pretty much just have to be maximizing your attacks at all stages of the game. So she's like Vayne. She's not as bad as Vayne. Vayne is literally like 100% reliant or 99% reliant on attacks, whereas Caitlyn is like, I don't know, 85% reliant on attacks. So like she's like Vayne in that regard, where she's so reliant on her attacks to do damage. So you have to try to maximize that. And that's just part of it, is knowing matchups and stuff like that. But just practice saving your net for when someone gap closes on you, and then still attacking them. And that's pretty much it. I would just focus on those things, and that'll help you out a lot. Thanks for the replay. Thanks for watching, guys. If you hit the subscribe button above my head, you'll get an email every time a new video comes out. Stay frosty.